Please leave a message after the tone.
You got 7 questions due. Your life is going down the tubes. What do you do when you need advice? This is where it gets good. Good night.
What am I fighting for?
So turn down the lights, pick up the phone and leave a message for the new clan.
Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan After Dark, After the Digi. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
Caleb Craig.
And Cameron.
And let's see what you guys have to ask us. We have a surprisingly high number of voicemails right now, so I'm excited.
This is good.
Yeah, this is very good. Let's see where they begin today.
Hey, what up, New Clan? Angry ass black dude from California. So I got an update on the dude who I called about before who was humming in the bathroom. And I gotta say, I'm highly disappointed. So I go into work about 2 weeks ago or so, and this motherfucker's already in there, and he's already humming. So that tells me, like, okay, he wasn't humming because he was, like, trying to creep on me or be weird on me or anything. He's just weird in the bathroom and hums. But now I'm kind of hurt because it's like, yo, I thought you were humming because of my magnificent sexiness being around, not just because you're fucking weird. Like, what the fuck? So is it wrong that I'm kind of, like, jealous that the creepy humming wasn't for me? Like, I didn't like it, but kind of boosted a nigga's ego. So, I don't know. What you guys think? Peace.
Huh.
I mean, maybe it's only natural to assume that the humming is for you. Maybe he was thinking about you and you didn't know.
Yeah, it could still be about you, but
I mean, that's the way that I would continue to operate. It's just the assumption that it was for you.
yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing we can compare this to is when, like, I don't know, when you find out that someone that you know is gay, but then they're like, "Oh, don't worry though, you're not my type," and I'm like,
And then you get, like, offended.
"Yeah," it's like, "Excuse me, I'm not your type." What do you mean I'm not your type?
everyone's type?
Like, what's wrong with me? You know? And then the one that I hate the most is like, "Oh, you're too normal. You're not fat enough." And I'm like, I'm trying. Like, I'm getting there. You know what I mean? Like, no. Like, you know, there are some people that just like chubby men. And I'm like, why?
That's
Yeah,
a good question.
I feel like that's how you got to approach it. Like, that's how he feels
Maybe
right
you should
now.
start asking around what his type is and start being more that way, so his humming's more for you.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You adapt to the Hummer.
Find out what makes him hum.
Yeah. Instead of like find out what makes him tick, find out what makes him hum.
Find out what makes him hum and do more of that.
Yeah. And then you'll get the hums.
But I thought the issue was he would like wait until you were in the bathroom to go to the bathroom. I thought that's what it was before. So you're saying it was you who found out when he was going to the bathroom and just ended up being in the bathroom at the same time he
Dude,
was.
sometimes that fucking happens. Like, I at work, sometimes I have, like, the exact same bathroom schedule as my fucking boss. Like, we just go in at the same time. It's like, oh, hey. It's fucking weird.
How do you have a schedule? Do you just like drink the same amount of liquid each
I guess
day?
it's like
Your
it's
body-
always like the same time when I go to work. Like, it's just like, oh, okay.
Never like hotter one day
It's
than
like-
the
it's-
other and drink more water.
No,
that
I
hour?
do, but it doesn't change it. It's like, hey, it's 6:30. Guess it's time.
Your body gets used to certain rhythms, at least for bowel movements. If you're going to spend time on the porcelain throne, it's usually around the same time every day, unless you change your eating habits from day to day. But if
Yeah.
you stick to the same eating habit, and your body just gets used to going to the bathroom at a certain time.
Yeah, unless you do if you do the keto diet, then you just don't ever shit. It's like once every 3 days. It's like finally.
The great release.
Sounds like the real problem there is in your pursuit of keto, you lost all your fiber.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah.
And then
Just
you
gotta-
could do
just gotta-
things to rectify that.
Just got to eat them poop flakes.
Yeah, you can. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm not like constipated. It's just there's nothing in there.
Well, yeah.
It's like over the
fiber's
course
what-
of 3 days, it's like 6 hot dogs, like 18 eggs.
Jesus.
God, dude, you ever see that brand cereal that's
You-
like
you
shaped
need-
in like little logs of shit?
No.
Oh man,
You need to add
that
fiber.
stuff twice. You need to find that and then eat that stuff.
You can just
it
add
tastes like shit and it looks like shit. and
keto
it'll make
friendly
you shit.
fiber friendly fiber supplements that'll help you shit while on keto.
Yeah,
And it'll stop the greased lightning when that happens too.
I do
Grease
love
lightning.
the crack of that greased lightning. Though I'll tell you what, when that thunder rolls after that lightning cracks, it's good. Yeah. That's what you got to do though. Find out what makes them hum. Let's see what else we have.
Hey guys, I have a question about my friends. I have two friends. Both of them are going through a divorce. One is leaving his wife because she's a bitch and he wants to get free. They've been married for like 20 years. They've got kids in their teens, and he just wants to get out of there. I got another one who doesn't want to leave his wife. She's leaving him. She's seeing somebody else now, and they have young kids together. My question as a friend is, what do I do to console both of them? Because when I was 19 and my friends got their heart broken and we go get drunk, go to strip club, and try to bang as many chicks as we can. Now that we're older, that's kind of out of the equation, especially since I'm married. Can't really go to strip clubs or bang girls. Unless my buddies weren't there to tell on me, then maybe it would be okay. But see what you guys had to say, what to do to console a friend who's going through a divorce, now that we're older, more mature, and need to stay out of the strip clubs. Interested in hearing your guys' answer.
Are these friends of each other? Because that would be an interesting get together. One's super sad about being divorced, the other one's ecstatic. I think that's a great comedy waiting to happen right there.
Yeah,
Where the super excited one can tell the super sad one that, yeah, it's fucking happening, and make it fantastic.
What is this, like the new divorcee sitcom? They're forced to live together. And
Yeah.
one's a neat freak, the other one's
And then
kind
you
of
find
messy.
out-
One's like pissed off at being divorced. The other one's like super happy about
Yeah,
it.
you get those two, that setting,
And then-
a bass guitar, and you can make this show work.
The
Yeah.
fucking twist at the end is that they fall for each other.
Yeah. Make your friends become gay for each other, and they make just show them that.
I know someone who happens to be available if you know.
And they can become whole again. You know what I mean? Like, because one of them is shattered for being left, and the other one is excited for being left. So together they will just be normal
One-
people.
And then,
Left,
the
one's
really,
leaving.
really crappy spin-off of that show would be them getting divorced.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
it's like way worse than before.
But like they've swapped roles. The one who didn't want to get divorced before is the one that totally wants to get divorced. So now
Yeah.
they're just like revenge fucking their old relationships.
Yeah.
This new one.
Yeah, that's interesting. But then, the kids. Add the kids there.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. The older set, I don't know if it's better or what like the prime age to do that is for a child. I mean, when you're a
prime
teenager,
age.
the
Okay,
prime,
age.
so
the prime abandonment age.
so it's
It's before they
you
can
have
speak.
to you have to look at your entire situation. Or do you need to separate from your spouse? Like, is it bad? And is it affecting the kids? Sometimes getting divorced in the long run is probably better for the kids than not. If the kids have to deal with you fighting and the distance between the both of you.
The other thing is, like, you want to make sure that the at least the youngest child is mature enough to understand what's going on.
I mean, yeah, probably. Wait till then, but if it's bad, don't fucking delay that
Yeah,
shit.
don't stay if it's gonna fuck
And
over the kids.
if you have smart, enterprising children, they know how to work the system now between mom and dad.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
think of the double
Yeah.
birthdays, the
Yeah.
double Christmases, and
Man, I always heard kids like fucking like championing that shit. It's like, really? Come on, that's fucking bullshit. I never got that shit.
Yeah, I was a pro-divorce child.
pro divorce.
Yeah, I'm pro-divorce.
No, that's a good. So
Double down, man.
I feel like people say that divorce rates are rising, and I feel like more people are okay with divorce than there used to be in times past. In times past, if you had a bad marriage. You just had to stick to the marriage.
Yeah, there's always
And-
like it feels like a religious connotation. to,
Religious
like,
connotation.
yeah.
stick with them. And that's why I don't. I think what Cameron's getting at is that divorce rates might be rising, but shitty
they-
relationship
yeah.
rates, those are probably the same.
So I'm just saying, divorce is a great way to say for have two people to end things when things aren't working, and it's not saying, "Hey, let's go." Hey, we got an argument. Let's go get a divorce. No,
Yeah.
I mean it's. I'm not advocating that as your fucking redo button every 5 years or so. It's just when it's bad, you have a way out, and that's a healthy way and a great way to end it. And yes, it sucks for kids caught in the middle, but it also sucks for kids to be stuck with a family with abusive tendencies.
At least some of the people that I've seen that have been getting divorced, I feel like it's mostly they don't want to try and stick with the relationship, try to make it work. Like they never give it a shot. They never
You think there's more of that?
Try to work on things. Yeah, I think people are getting lazier and they just don't want to work on it, and they're like, I just don't want to put in the effort anymore.
Well, everywhere else besides Utah, we see a rise of people getting married later in life. They've made more of their personal goals with work or school, and they just put it off until, I guess, they are ready for marriage. So I wonder if, as a whole, people are more mature and more ready for marriage when they get into it. Does that marriage last longer, or are they still getting divorced just for not even trying, like you're saying? Because I feel like when you get married young and you just kind of rush into it before realizing what you're doing and who that other person really is, then you fall into more situations where
it's definitely people are married.
That's why I
getting
excluded
married just to have sex.
That's
so
why I
it's like-
excluded Utah, because Utah is not going to change for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the marriage age is rising steadily in Utah, but it's definitely behind most everyone else.
Yeah, and also now, I mean, I can imagine it rising more because now girls can go on their missions younger.
Well,
so
I mean,
they're
that's
either going to
because
get
of that,
married
but yeah.
younger, or they're going to go on their missions and then get married when they come back.
No, that's exactly what's happened. That's why it's been on the rise a little bit.
But it used to be like you either got married or went on a mission, because the mission age for girls was like 21 before.
Yeah.
Which is odd, considering that they supposedly mature sooner than dudes. So why wouldn't they have gone earlier the whole time?
Well, it's a whole dynamic you can get into if you wanted to discuss Mormonism at length. But do we want to make the podcast about that?
Not really.
It's more.
Women-
It's more or
women
less
are
they
slightly
wanted
lesser in the Mormon faith.
It's more or less the reason why the missionary age was 21 for women is because they wanted women to get married. They didn't want them to go on a mission. They wanted them to, you're 18, marry a return missionary, stop popping babies out. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of, yeah. That's kind of the idea.
That's exactly what it was.
That's exactly why.
Yep.
And if they got to their mission, they kind of failed. You know what I mean? If
And
they were
it was
married
looked at in that way. There was a slight amount of. There was a slight amount of. Why is she going on a mission?
Yeah, she
type of
couldn't
thing.
get married. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
kind of how it was, yeah.
it's terrible.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. It's not great. There's worse shit out there, but...
Yeah. So divorce happens, and it can be done right and healthy for the kids, but it can also be done wrong.
Yeah, I think at that point, they just have to find a way to make it work for them, And... It doesn't. Like Cameron said, it shouldn't be a negative thing. It's kind of like a bankruptcy. Like you don't want to do it. You don't ever want to do a bankruptcy, but sometimes you need to. Sometimes that's exactly what you need to do to fix everything, and that's when you have to do it. It's not something you should just default to when you're a couple $1,000s in debt, and just file bankruptcy. No, it's something
It's
that
like if there's like no other way, then you got to do it.
exactly, and that's how you should treat that. And so for them, I mean, if that's where they're at, I don't know. Maybe go get some strippers. Maybe that's what you got to do. Like.
I mean, it's going to suck for that one guy who's not happy about this. It's going to suck big time.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing that you can kind of do is kind of just pick up like a hobby or something.
He's got to work at his own pace. He's got to, it takes time, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe making those two come together so that they find some common ground. The one guy drags down the one dude's joy while he pulls up the man pulling his joy away from him, and they meet in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
And they just become normal dudes.
Yeah, they're just normal human beings at that point.
A support group for divorced, men can get together and talk about it. And then another situation is that where it can be hard is who gets the kids, and it sounds like it's not going to be equal for both of the guys of who wants or who gets time with the kids and how often they get to see the kids, or if they get the kids outright.
Yeah.
And that part is hard when you can't be amicable with the person you're divorcing from and have an equal amount of time with the kids, and you're not tearing each other down. See, that's another bad thing that happens after divorce, is where the spouse, one of the parents starts to paint the other parent as the bad guy, and so the kids have to go back and forth and hear how bad the other parent is, and that's not good at all.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird, like, how they decide who gets the kids? Sometimes I feel like it's unfair for dudes.
It is a little bit.
And, like, I get that, for, like, a baby, they need the mom for the milk and shit, but, like, you're, like, 15. Like, do you really need one parent over the other? Like, is that really a fair assessment,
I mean, there's tons of studies into what happens to kids when they don't have one or the other parent, and who's more nurturing, and who the kid should go to. And over time, it's just trended that the mother gets the kids and the father gets visitation rights. But
yeah, it sounds like the mom is the blue pill, though. She's like the tender, loving, like,
but who knows?
Don't worry.
But who knows? But that's also not true in every case.
That's true, yeah.
And I don't know enough, and I know research is still going on about that, and times might change, but who knows?
Yeah. It's just interesting what we do have the option to do, and that it's interesting what we fight for. But, like, I don't know, the other way around, like, would that still be viewed the same way in society? When it comes to these kind of things, like, what if it was always the dude? Like, how would that be? How would that look? And that's how I don't know. I just think it's interesting to think about. Yeah, do you guys want to do one more? Or
how many more do we have?
We have 5 more.
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right, let's see what we got here.
What up, guys? Caleb with the C here.
Oh,
you guys are
man.
awesome. Been listening for the past couple months. Started with Ultima Final Fantasy, and then found this sexy bitch of a podcast, so keep up the good work. I had a question. If you guys could turn one video game into a movie, what would it be, and who would you cast for said movie? Yeah, you guys fucking kill it. Keep it up. Thanks, guys.
Well, that's kind of weird, because that was one of the ideas we had for the episode.
Yeah.
Today. We recorded this
I was going to
before.
say that's not advice, so that doesn't belong on New Clan After Dark. That's more
No,
of a
it does.
question.
We have questions and advice. That's like the whole idea.
We could do that later. We could. I mean, that was one of the ideas I had for this week's episode, honestly.
Jesus.
We could answer the fuck out of that question.
Yeah.
You want to do another one then?
Yeah, but let's play his voice clip on the main episode.
So they're hearing this like
After.
weeks, or like, well, not weeks, but like days after
Yeah.
the episode where it already happened.
Yeah.
Weeks. God, that reminds me of the time that Cody. I was bitching about someone having like a platinum trophy already in a game, and he said something to me. He was like, "Well, there are places in the world that are days ahead of us," and I'm like, "What?"
Days
Like,
ahead. huh?
Yeah, he said like days or weeks or something. I was like, Cody, there's an international date line, and that's like a day, man. That's not like a week. You know,
There's
just
only
fucking
one place on Earth where there's actually one, and it's funny because they're right next door to each other. They're both right, along the line. One's Hawaii, and then one's this island just off of Hawaii, where they're actually almost 24 hours apart. And that's just one place on Earth where that happens.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah. If you release it at 7 p.m. whatever time they live in, which doesn't actually happen. They always release it at like one time for everybody. They don't, okay, when you release a game, they don't release it like New Year's releases where it's fucking like New York gets it first and then like the Midwest, which is really the Mideast, but we don't want to call it that, gets it next, and then the center of America gets it, then the western end of America gets it. No, it's midnight New York time and whatever the fuck that time is for any other motherfucker instead. So yeah, that reminds me of that.
I think there was some delay in release depending on certain countries and whatnot. And I also hear that certain countries get releases first just because they're afraid of the bootleg copies that'll happen if they don't.
Yeah.
So besides that, yeah.
What was the question? What happened?
We skipped that question to answer another one.
Oh, we didn't. Did we listen to that one yet?
No.
Oh, okay. I was sitting there and I was like, why am I talking about the Dateline thing? I totally forgot.
Cody.
Yeah. Something brought it up, but it's...
Hey, what's going on, Nude Clan? This is Andrew. I'm driving my sorry ass through western Iowa right now, coming down from Minneapolis, making my way to Denver. Somehow my crazy girlfriend convinced me that it was a good idea to not fly and instead cruise down the interstate. So while I'm down here and while I'm driving, listening to your podcast to keep me sane, I figured I'd ask you guys, we're heading to Denver for a convention right now, which we'll be meeting the cast of Critical Role, pretty popular D&D podcast hosted on Twitch every week. And I was curious, it got me thinking, I've heard you guys talk about Dungeons & Dragons and your experiences before. I'm kind of curious to know if you guys have had any experience since then, regarding Dungeons & Dragons, if you have any interest, what you know about it, and whether or not you guys expect to ever pick it up again. And if not, why not? Thanks.
Man, I got a surprising amount of Nude Clan questions. I guess we could talk about this, I suppose. Yeah, Critical Role, I've seen them before on...
Yeah, I've seen it occasionally.
Yeah. I don't know.
As far as playing D&D, I still tend to do that somewhat regularly with my coworkers and other friends.
Yeah, I only play it for the show.
Yeah, it's too much for Schweiss. His insecurity really gets at him, where he can't really get into something that's not a joke. So,
yeah, well, it is a joke, so that's why I make it a joke. But I think that's the problem, is it's not a joke to some people.
It's a fun game.
Yeah. It's all right. I mean,
it
I don't
really
mind
depends
playing
on who you play it with. Is in my experience that makes a whole world of difference.
I don't know. There's just so many things that I want to do, and that's not really that high on the list of things I want to do before I am no longer alive. I think the idea of DMing is really cool, and like coming up with your own story and coming up with your own scenario. That's kind of fun, and that like accesses more of a creative side. But the rest of it, I don't know. It's cool, but it's not. I don't know. It's not something that I'm gonna like seek out outside of doing it for Nude Clan. Really, I don't know. I'm just not that into it, I guess. But a lot of people are. So I don't know if it's necessarily insecurities as much as like time.
Yeah, I think I would play it if I had like a group nearby or whatever.
I mean, you were invited to one.
But yours is like fucking in Draper or wherever the fuck. I'm not going to drive like an hour and a half up there.
It's not even an hour and a half up there. But it wasn't a Draper. The one I was going to invite you to was in Pleasant Grove.
It's still like an hour away.
It's not
Hardly.
an hour away.
Not even.
It's fucking an hour away from me.
No, it
fuckers.
isn't.
Yeah, it is. It takes like 17 minutes to get here.
Yeah, Craig, it's like another 15. Is 17 and 15 fucking 60?
Lies.
Dude, I do that all the time. Alex's parents live in fucking AF, which is even further than Pleasant Grove by like 2 exits, but it doesn't take me 43 minutes to get there.
Don't lie to me.
God, Craig and his like bubble of safety. It's like just like a 20-mile radius. Anything beyond that is like, dude, that's like an hour away. It is.
Yeah, anything north of Provo, he just can't.
Yeah,
just does not exist
It's
for
too
him.
much.
It's like a hot summer day when you're looking down the road and you just see those heat waves flying off. And
fucking Provo is a shitstorm for traffic, and then it only gets worse the further north you go.
it gets way worse.
The only place where it's terrible is Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
That's the only place where traffic's bad. And we're not asking you to risk your neck driving through Salt Lake City,
Yeah,
Craig.
you are.
We're just asking you to
Fucking-
just go a little bit further than what you're
No,
safe,
I don't
your
wanna.
comfort bubble.
Although PG is like the worst setup city of all time. You like
No,
get
but
off
it's-
get off the freeway and you drive for like 5 minutes and then you finally get into town.
Yeah, it's the east of the freeway, and it's suburbs, so it's not like it's populated.
Yeah. So it's not scary, Craig. It's actually
No.
it's pretty nice.
Just driving through a neighborhood.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
One you've never been to before. And at one point you should just drive to my apartment just so you can come up that way into Draper, at least just once. It's not hard. Just push in your little comfort zone a little bit more.
Yeah,
It's too
that's-
much.
That's how
It's
you
too
grow.
much driving.
That's how you grow, Craig. You got to push your comfort zone, your bubble.
Well, yeah, D&D is fun. I don't mind playing it. I think playing a continuous game where you like have the same character for multiple campaigns would be fucking cool.
So my one gripe with D&D is when you go to a new session, you're excited because you know everyone who's playing and you get along with them pretty well. You have this idea of a character you want to play. You look into it. You design kind of what your level up path is going to be for the character. If you're going to multi-class or stick to just that one class, and then you get excited about all the things you can do once you hit like level 15 and above. You're like, wow, this is going to be great fun. But then you start at level 1 or level 3 and you play for like a couple months and you get to maybe level 7, 8, and then everyone stops playing. And it's just like, how many D&D sessions have I been to where you just start as a low-level character and you never make it out of that? Because, it's hard for people to commit to something over long lengths of time. And so, and the people don't want to just start out as a high level because, I want to spend time learning my character and what they do. I'm like, oh, fuck that. I've done that so many fucking times now. It's so stupid and boring. I want to start as like fucking level 15 or lower. Or, it's just because no one has time to level up so slowly that you never get to enjoy your character. And so, and then even if you say, well, every 3 sessions we'll level up, you're still looking at months out before you get to the higher levels. So
Yeah. All I can think right now is just bum 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 bum.
I mean, the grind is real, and it's up to the DM in this case, though. It's just a hard balance because not everyone can commit to once a week or once every other week for months of their lives. So,
yeah,
that's the time thing that makes me mad.
Do they just like always play something new? Is that why they're like, I don't want to play a higher level character?
This is the story of a D&D group. You all get together, all new faces or all old faces, friends. You all get together. It's great fun, depending on the DM. And then you say, hey, let's meet every week. And then you meet every week for 2 months, and everyone just gets burned out. They don't want to show up anymore. People start missing sessions, so you start doing side quests because you don't want to do the main quest without them. And then pretty soon people just get burned out of just doing nothing because it's not progressing the main story, and your characters aren't progressing too far. And it just burns out, in my opinion. It'll burn out somewhere between 4 to 6 months. You get player burnout. And then you don't progress too far after that. And then everyone takes a break for a while. Then someone goes, hey, I want a DM. I have a cool story I just thought of. I want to get together, make level 5 characters come play. Everyone's like, sure. Or you some people decide they don't want to rejoin, and so you find other new fresh faces to add to it. And it's just the same pattern over and over again, that you can't keep a group together for longer than that 6-month mark.
Mm-hmm. See, I played like 4 times. I already know the fuck out of my barbarian, so I'd be down to play like an uber high level thing that is determined to kill us.
The only problem is one thing
Fucking
why
rage
people like
infinite.
to learn their characters and progress their way up to a higher level character is just because when you get to battles and you're playing with 4 people and 1 DM, and if each person has like this whole fucking scroll of what they can do during a battle that they have to unwind and they are not familiar with their character, turns can take for fucking ever to get
I
done.
can see that happening if they have like a fucking mage or whatever, but like if you like have a general idea of like what the character class is, then you shouldn't have that problem. Like,
Yeah.
I fucking, like, as a barbarian,
As a more experienced
I know
player
that if
would
I have a
have
fucking
much
sweet-ass
difficulty.
weapon and I can rage infinitely, then I can fucking attack 50 times in one turn. So, yeah, I'm gonna fucking stick with that.
Yeah, it's just the biggest detriment to getting a D&D session together and consistently doing it is getting 4 to 6 people to meet consistently. That's almost impossible over time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All what they need is to start a podcast on D&D so that they feel like they have to come.
Well,
yeah,
I mean...
but the podcast, when a podcast starts out or idea starts out, and people realize the time commitment that the podcast takes, it might take a year or two of consistently doing that to just fuck the rest of that person's social life, just so that doesn't exist anymore, so it's no longer a problem.
Exactly. See, take Cameron, for example. Cameron in Nude Clan. Cameron's busy playing Digimon instead of busy hanging out with people.
Yep.
That's how you do it. That's how you make a campaign last.
It came to the point last night that my friend actually had to stop by yesterday just to check in on me, see what's going on.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You could still log on to PlayStation 4 via chat.
No. So what I did...
You gotta be in the chat. You can't be all antisocial.
So no, like, okay, I
in the chat.
get distracted when I'm playing a video game, and then when you're inside a chat, people expect you to chat. They expect you to talk to them
Yeah.
and socialize with them. I'm fucking focusing on the game. I'm not here to talk to you.
You're playing a game that's completely mindless, Cam.
Which is
you
why-
don't have to fucking focus on it in any capacity.
Which is why I have a Netflix thing going on in the background, and I just play the game. That's the best way
Then
for me
you
to
chat,
focus on playing the
Cam.
game.
The
No.
chat becomes the focus.
But then if I try to chat to you guys, I can't listen to what I'm watching. And I want to wear my headset
well, then
for
obviously
hours.
you don't watch the thing.
It's in place of the Netflix, yeah.
No. No, I feel like...
What were you watching on Netflix?
Well, I wanted to find a show that I wasn't too interested in, so I wasn't going to watch that instead of play the game. And so I started that Lucifer show on Netflix because I thought
That
it was
one's-
stupid.
Okay.
I thought it was, just a cop stupid show with the main character being this good-looking guy who is really good with women. I feel like it appealed to women more than it appeals to men. The show Lucifer, and that's why I put it on, just so it could play in the background, and so I wasn't watching that, but just not completely bored playing this fucking stupid Digimon game.
Yeah. Did anybody get any of that devil dick?
What?
Lucifer. It's the
I mean,
devil
Constantly.
They do frequently, yes.
Constantly, it's just a constant thing with him.
He's literally the devil, and yeah, he has all the sex.
I remember seeing a trailer for it and being like, wow, I have no interest in watching that show.
That's exactly what I said.
Netflix, it's got a great thing on Rotten Tomatoes, but
That's exactly what I'm like. So I looked at it. I'm like, hey, I want to put something on. Netflix is really pushing the show right now. I went on Rotten Tomatoes and it seemed all right, and so I'm like, okay.
much half of those reviews are bought and paid, though.
Well, that's
fucking-
life for everything.
It does the thing that I hate most about shows is like they're just like focus way too much on like romantic drama.
Yeah,
I fucking hate that shit.
yeah.
I don't need it.
Caleb has no time for
Craig
romance
has
in
been
his life.
spurned.
No,
Yeah.
I enjoy
Just
the
turn them
romance,
into lesbians and be done
but
with
what
it.
What I fucking hate though is like when they're like, "Hey, these two characters like each other. We're gonna spend the entire fucking show being like, will they, won't they?" That's literally every fucking
You know what?
TV show.
You know what, Craig? That in of itself is a huge part of why I hate anime.
It's fucking annoying.
It's super annoying.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying.
And anime does this worse than any other
A lot
medium.
of them do, yeah.
And I hate it. I hate anime. Well, I don't hate anime. There's certain ones out there that I'm more than okay with, but that whole trope I'm not okay with.
Yeah, it's fucking horseshit. Like, just get them in a relationship and have the fucking relationship just stick.
And then just
All
have
right.
that not be the main point,
The
like,
fucking
for the characters.
fucking
and just progress the
CW
story.
shows, like the
Yeah.
WB
Oh,
shows,
God.
they all do
They're
that
trash.
shit.
They're
They're
trash.
like, okay, we're gonna fucking like form this relationship, then we're gonna have them break up for some bullshit reason just for the drama.
And I feel like Lucifer would be very much at home on the CW.
Fucking God.
I mean, I think
CW.
it was on there, but until Netflix picked it up. So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It feels like that.
That's
type
like
of shit.
the- that's
I hope
Teen
they stop
Angst
doing
channel.
that since Netflix has it now.
That's
It
the
really
Teen
is,
Angst
yeah.
channel,
I fucking hate that shit.
Dude,
they ruin all of those fucking superhero shows with that shit.
Yeah.
It pisses me off.
God, the guy.
That first season of Arrow was actually really awesome.
Yeah.
And then they're like,
I couldn't get into Arrow.
relationship drama.
I couldn't get into Arrow at all because I knew that's what it was going to devolve into from the very
that first season is really
I
good.
tried
and
to
then
watch
it's
that
like,
first season, but I could see it. I said,
Yeah,
I said,
you
this
can-
is like
you can see the
this is like
setup
the
for it.
fucking Gilmore Girls of superheroes going on right here.
and that's what every season afterward becomes. It's fucking.
Why?
I don't
Wait,
know.
Gilmore Girls, is that the one with like the mom, the daughter, and the
I have no idea.
grandma?
The
There's, like,
lesbian incestuous people. I don't know.
I can't remember if that's the one.
Don't know.
Or if that's what's the old lady one?
What old lady one?
It's like the old ladies. It's
Oh,
like Betty
Golden
White.
Girls?
Yeah, that one's great. That's
Yeah,
What was
Golden
the one-
Girls is fucking awesome.
Okay,
What is
I
the-
love Golden Girls.
What is the one about all like the rich kid group who's
think
always like
it's-
lying to each other? One of them's always like, and then they can't figure out who's the one spreading the rumors of what's going on. I feel like Green Arrow's like that. I feel like I have no.
I think Alex watched
I only-
Gilmore Girls, and I hated it from a distance. I didn't hate it as much as I hated the new Buffy,
We're good.
which I know a lot of people love.
The
Just
new
stands.
Buffy?
Or no, not the new Buffy. The new what's her name? The one with the cat.
Oh, Sabrina?
Yeah, the new Sabrina. I really didn't like that.
I mean, it's supposed to follow the comics more, but I enjoyed the comedy, like, of the original one.
I did too. Yeah,
Fucking Salem is such an asshole, but it's so good.
it's not even there.
I know.
Well, yeah, it was one of those shows that I heard in the background and I didn't like. It wasn't like Dear White People level of disdain, but it was down there.
Dude, all these fucking shows are, like, getting there. Just that fucking, the Charmed reboot that's literally just, like, supposed to be female power, which the original one was entirely about that. But they're like, we gotta push it more, and we gotta make one of the sisters a lesbian, and we gotta make one of them, like, half black for some reason.
Muff Diver power.
Have you not heard of adoption, Craig?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean though. And there was the generic like cookie cutter gay guy at work asked me if I watched One Tree Hill, and I turned around and I was like, I will never watch that fucking show. It was on a television and I was in the room and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck is this?
What is
that like
One Tree
this?
Hill?
It was like the super teenage drama show of the 90s.
It's like a high school. Yeah, they're in a high school. And I'm like, yeah, no, I do not watch that show. I tried for like, I didn't try. It was on and I was like angry. It was like when I watched Juno, I was just angry.
Where would you put that on the scale of where Glee goes?
It's way worse than Glee,
It's
dude.
way
it's
worse.
so
dude.
much
It's
worse
like
than Glee.
it's everything we hate about the CW turned up to like 12.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't ruin great songs like Glee does, but it does. It's just terrible. It's so like angsty and drama filled.
It's like imagine the CW like a CW show, but also mixed like with a soap opera, and that's One Tree Hill.
Yeah. The two most nasty
Yeah, that
things
sounds-
in the world.
sounds
Soap
pretty
operas
bad.
and CW.
Um,
Teenagers.
And I think wasn't that show on the CW?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I think
that's
it was.
exactly what it was.
Yeah, that's the epitome of that channel. And then whenever I see anyone, and I'm sorry guys if you do this, but whenever I see any of the listeners or any single person talking about any show from the CW, I automatically don't take them seriously anymore. Even if it's a superhero show, I'm like, yeah, you watch The Arrow? I'm sorry, I can't take you seriously because that channel is just such a fucking
God,
joke.
I had to fucking stop.
You know, for the
watching
most part, I really dislike the superhero TV shows. I can't get into them.
Yeah,
there's only one that I passively liked, which is Daredevil, and then the other one that I really liked for the first season was Luke Cage. Just because if you took away
The first season of
if
that
you
was
took
great.
away the superpower, the gimmick, it was still a wonderful TV show about a guy taking
Yeah.
back his town from a
Luke Cage
from
was
a,
fucking sweet.
from a bad guy who's crime lord, has control of the town. Great like twists and who's the bad guy and stuff like that, and reflective moments. And so Luke Cage by
Man,
itself
and that
was a
bad
good show.
guy in that fucking first season. Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, the first season of Luke Cage is what I would want most superhero TV shows to be like, but for the most part, they're just stupid.
Oh yeah, they're-
Stupid.
They are really stupid.
Yeah.
And it really hurts me to say that.
And that's why I don't
They
watch.
can't do superheroes in TV. They can't.
It just doesn't work. Yeah.
No.
It's,
I mean,
it's-
they can, but they just gotta do it well instead of being CW, which owns like one of the biggest ones.
Which one do they own?
The CW is owned by Warner Brothers, which owns DC.
Oh.
yeah. So they get to do all those.
So they get to treat my favorites like shit.
yeah.
Yeah. I know this is very far away from D&D.
Oh yeah.
The biggest thing about D&D is time constraint. That's why most people can't commit to D&D. It's because, yes, there's a little bit of getting into that nerd stuff, but I feel like that's becoming more acceptable as time goes on because of things like Critical Role. And then they have an animated TV show that they're coming out with soon, too, that they entirely crowdfunded, which was kind of cool.
Critical Role?
Critical Role. Side note, that's why, and I feel like that's the answer to the question, but when it comes to superheroes...
That's why you can't get anybody to do anything for long term, though.
Right.
Same thing with the divorce. It's you have to be willing to put that
Tie
long
the
term
question.
You have to put the
together.
effort in. You have to put the effort in. It's a full-time job.
It really is, yeah.
But when it comes to like superhero themes and new things coming out, how do you guys feel about Brightburn?
I don't know what that is.
I think the
I'm kind of
concept is
excited about it.
interesting.
I'm kind of excited about it. I'm not gonna lie.
I hope it's not just a shit cash grab.
I hope so too. So basically, it's the Superman origin story, but what if he was like a fucking evil, demented child?
So he's evil as
Yeah.
a child.
Well, he
Yeah.
basically it's about a kid with all the godlike powers who goes fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
Aren't all children kind of evil, though? a little
Yeah,
bit?
so I think it's more of a realistic look of what could have really happened with Superman.
That's why
as
you
a
don't,
child, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you don't fucking turn vampires or children into vampires.
Yeah, man, can you imagine that? Like, any 3-year-old that you've ever known having superpowers, that would be awful.
Yeah.
They're already like hellions, but they would just raise.
And
this
I feel
planet.
like most of the time they treat Superman's origin story kind of the same way, or his childhood the same way they treated Hercules' child story, just like a happy little montage of him not turning into a little monster. I'm like,
Yeah, him just being like freakishly strong and like, oops, sorry, I'm clumsy. Instead of just getting that rage that they get.
yeah.
Oh man, that's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited for that, but yeah,
Who's doing it?
I'll have to look into it again.
Yeah, I forget who the director
I
was.
just saw a advertisement for it. One of the last movies we went to see. Can't remember. I think it was when I went to go see Endgame. I saw the advertisement for it.
Nice. The only TV show that I'm looking forward to now that my TV show is done and hurt me. I guess I'm looking forward to the spinoff show for that, I guess.
I
but
thought they
Wheel of
confirmed
Time?
that wasn't going to happen.
Wheel of Time TV show's coming.
Yeah, Wheel of Time, I'm interested
That's
in.
going to be like 2 years away. Though.
Brandon Sanderson already said that they're making changes, and he's like okay with the changes, but it didn't sound like he was 100%.
I don't know what changes they would make.
I don't know.
They're going to change it.
And then the Witcher TV show coming out. It already seems like they're off to a great start.
I think they finished
Did you see
the first season.
Did you see the
Or
Nilfgaardian
close to.
armor leak from the set?
I didn't know.
Go pull that up real fast. I mean, and everyone who's on their phones and not driving to Colorado, don't. If you're at your home, look it up. But if you're not, then don't. Wait till later. Nilfgaardian armor for the TV show. Take a look at that.
I still don't know how I
Images.
feel about that guy playing Geralt, though.
See that guy? Yeah, just right here. Look at it.
He looks like a Nazi.
No, just open it. Just click on one of them. Just fucking. That's what they look like.
They look ridiculous.
Exactly.
Huh.
And then if you get a close up on that guy on the left of that picture, yeah, look at that.
What?
That's the Nilfgaardian armor.
That's not what it fucking looks like.
That's what it looks like to them.
I love how, yeah. I love how the fucking internet, raged at, Henry Cavill playing him.
No,
it's like,
it's just
that's kind of ridiculous. I think
I think he could be just fine for it, yeah.
I don't know. I think someone slightly older would have been better for Geralt.
You can make him look older.
It just
though.
depends on where they're putting the story in his Geralt's timeline.
Eh.
Yeah, besides, he's
Just depends.
super old.
Yeah, I mean, he's like 100 plus,
Yeah.
but he still looks like... Henry Cavill looks like he's in his, mid-30s.
Nothing
Or
little
early
makeup
30s.
and CGI can't take care of. They can make him any age they want to make him.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah,
though.
but this doesn't give me high hopes. It just feels like the person who's, director or, person who's doing the costume decisions just going to make it a joke.
Yeah, at
I was
first
like,
it looked
where
like
the
they...
fuck would they pull that out of? It doesn't make any sense. That they could have at least just used full plate armor and painted it black. They didn't have to fucking put imagination.
Or they could have
in
just
there,
put
which is
more historically
hey, somebody
accurate
fucking
armor.
somebody put my suit of armor in the fucking dryer and now it's wrinkled to shit. What the fuck?
They could have just used more historically accurate armor as well. I mean, The Witcher, when it comes
you don't
to
have to pull some bullshit fantasy stuff.
Yeah,
all right.
we don't want that.
You can just go with stuff that's already been made.
Yeah, the games do that, so...
Yeah.
I don't know about the books. Craig's the only one.
The-
Oh, no,
the
you
books
both
I've
did
read
too.
all of them, yeah. Yeah, using your mind's eye, they are going to look like anything you want
The
it to
only
look like.
thing that's fantasy in the fucking books is the fact that he has golden eyes.
I
And
mean,
white
just
hair
look at that.
and
It
the
looks
fucking
like someone's
creatures.
fucking wrinkly ball sack is what it looks like from here. It's like
Yeah.
the fucking
Yeah.
stomach area. It's pulled in tight because it's cold outside.
Yeah, he's just wearing a
just-
fucking
it's
wrinkly
just
suit of armor.
It's missing the short and curlies everywhere. It's all it's missing.
Yeah, it needs to be like a tannish brown instead.
Hey, they're very open. Once you go Nilfgaardian black, you don't go back.
Is that a scrote coming at us?
It's because you can't fucking take off the armor anymore.
Scrotum on a horse with a lance? Is that what's charging me right
You
now?
you gotta get someplace warm so it loosens up a bit.
yeah. Oh, they are the northern guys, aren't they? The fucking...
No, Nilfgaardians are the south.
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
Oh, so
yeah.
they do have the loose ball sacks. They're sure. That's why they're okay. So they okay. I gotcha. They're up north, and that's why it's all shriveled.
Well, you played that game too. I mean,
What? I don't. Oh no, you're right. Yeah, that's the emperor dude, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Von
Imperato.
Emrys. Imperator. Emrys.
Yeah. Charles Dance, emperor of the world.
Anyways, yeah. So there's it's the stupid things they do with TV shows, dude.
Yeah, and that's why I don't watch very much TV.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
stupid.
don't. It's even.
Okay, there's a holy grail of excellent TV shows, and I think for the most part, Game of Thrones still sits in that, unless you don't want to ever end watching it if you're doing a rewatch. Then there's one of the greats, in my opinion, is always going to be Breaking Bad. That's a perfect example of the directors getting to take the TV show and end it exactly when it should end and how it should end. That is
Yeah.
perfect.
That's what I've heard. I haven't watched that. I still think Game of Thrones is the best show I've watched. It just has a disappointing.
You
ending.
should watch Breaking Bad. It's really good.
The Wire is really good throughout. Sopranos is really good.
House of Cards used to be good, but it ended fucking terribly because of all the they had to get rid of
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm just not that into TV. You know, like I tried to watch Deadwood a couple times, and I can't get into it.
Same thing with Westworld. Just no interest in to pick that up.
Oh, Westworld season 1 is really good.
See, that's the thing. I'm going to pick it up. It's going to be really good, and then I'm going to want to watch it. I don't want to do that right now.
You don't want to watch it?
No.
Why not?
I just don't want to watch TV right now.
You want to spend time in the digital world instead?
Fuck that.
The digital monsters.
But yeah. Anything else you want to bring up?
No, man. I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, and we will see you again in a week.
Mankind has always been poison.
Give up on yourself. Give up on the world.
Every puzzle has an answer. Dumbass. Kick logic out and do the impossible. Remember that.
I'm glad I met you guys. You made me pick up on things I probably would have just gone on ignoring.